Chapter 3, we're going to introduce four major strategic initiatives that company deploy in order to achieve competitive advantage. And one of them is supply chain management. The other initiative is customer relationship management. The third one is enterprise resource planning system. And last but not the least is business process reengineering initiative. All these initiatives takes a lot of efforts and resources for company to implement it. So these are the four major initiatives. They are expensive, which can make or break the company if you're not careful. It would hurt the company quite a bit. But if you successfully implement some of this initiative, it may help your company to achieve your competitive advantage greatly. First is supply chain management. There's a lot of information that need to send back and forth along the supply chain to make it very efficient and achieve profitability for all parties involved in the supply chain. So there are four basic components. One is the strategy for managing the resources in the supply chain to meet the customer demand. We need to also figure out who are the participant or partner in the supply chain, and we need to manage various operations from scheduling, productions to warehousing in the supply chain. The fourth is logistics side of supply chain. Taking Walmart and Procter & Gamble as an example. Walmart, for instance, Walmart store certainly try to provide the best price to its customer. When customer purchase product from Walmart store, and Walmart store would send the purchasing information to its distribution center and warehouse, and when the inventory is running low, that information will be then sent to Procter & Gamble. However, since Procter & Gamble and Walmart has a very tight working relationship and close integration in terms of their information system, Walmart store can send their point of sales data directly to Procter & Gamble. And so when Procter & Gamble find out that some Walmart store is running low in some product that's from Procter & Gamble, then Procter & Gamble can send those products to Walmart's warehouse or send it directly to Walmart store, which is running short in its inventory. This greatly improve the efficiency of the supply chain. However, it does take all the participants, in this case P&G and Walmart's, trust between each other in order to share sensitive information in the supply chain with each other. P&G certainly has its own supplier, and even P&G supplier may have its own supplier. So the supply chain for the whole industry can be very, very long, and try to run it very efficiently can be very challenging. Efficient and effective supply chain can change the competitive dynamics based on Porter's model. It would decrease the power of its buyer because an efficient supply chain, the buyer is less likely to switch to another supplier. However, it increase its own suppliers' power, because the company who are purchasing from a supplier are less likely to switch. And since there's a high switching cost, it reduces the threat of substitute product and services. It also actually create entry barrier for newcomer, because try to implement similar efficient supply chain can be difficult and costly for the new entrants. And efficient supply chain also increase efficiency while seeking a competitive advantage through cost leadership, because definitely efficient supply chain can reduce the cost. So this is a summary of the impact of efficient supply chain on Porter's 5-force model. It will increase the supplier power, decrease the buyer power, decrease the threat of substitute product or services, and also decrease the threat of new entrant. CRM involve all aspects of customer relationship, not just the transactions, and it is critical to implement successful CRM system to increase customer loyalty and retention, and eventually increase organization's profitability. Charles Schwab has online website which allow them to serve their customer better. Kaiser Permanente has a very elaborate member information system, which is their customer, and they manage their customers' data and suggest some health tip and program for them, and try to improve the preventive healthcare and reduce unnecessary costs in healthcare. So both company has obtained great success through the implementation of CRM system. CRM definitely is not a technology per se. It is really a business strategy, a business process, and successful implementation of CRM allowed us to achieve our business goal in enhancing the relationship with the customer. A successful CRM system allowed us to identify different type of customer, and also allowed us to target customer more specifically. And since we know more about individual customer, we can treat them as individual and provide personalized or customized services. And also help us to understand the customer's purchasing behavior, and such that we can design our products or services towards their need. CRM systems require the use of a lot of information across the enterprise, including accounting, ordering information, inventory data, and customer service system. All of that need to be integrated in a CRM database systems, such that when customer contact the company through various communication channel, we can always find out the status of their account, of their order, and the availability of the product they wish to order, and the service record. Reengineering is another major initiative. Reengineering, business process reengineering specifically, is a way for us to look at the business process in terms of how we can further improve it, how can we introduce new information technology, and such that we can reduce the cycle time, reduce the cost, and improve the quality of the products or services that we're offering to the customers. So it is important that we understand business processes which which is really a set of activity that connected to each other in meeting some customers' needs. In Mike Hammer and Champy's book called Reengineering the Corporation, they came up with some principle for BPR. Let's look at a few of them. For instance, when we're thinking about reengineering, we should start with the outcome, not a specific task, because tasks can be changed. However, the outcome is our objective that should pretty much stay the same. And we also need to prioritize various business processes that we potentially want to re-engineer. And we should integrate information processing work into the real work such that we can produce the information necessary for the frontline worker and give them the feedback and the information such that they can make the right judgment on the spot. With the networking capability, it is easier now to manage geographically dispersed resources since we have more centralized information about various resources and operations. A lot of things can be done in parallel to reduce the cycle time for business process. However, we should integrate the result from those parallel activities as soon as possible. You shouldn't wait until the last moment to integrate various results. In order to empower the frontline worker, we should consider put the decision point to where the work has to be performed. And however, empowerment doesn't mean losing control. We should try to build control into the business process. If possible, we should capture information only once and also at its source when it occurs. Reengineering, we're talking about dramatic improvement, so it's not just incremental improvement. It is a much more dramatic approach in improving the business process performance. Let's take progressive insurance as an example. The traditional insurance claim process looks like this, and when your car gets into an accident, you basically will go to the insurance agency and they will process your claim, and it would take many weeks for you to get paid for the damage. And progressive, when you involve in an accident, you can call their customer service center. They would have a mobile van come to your rescue in 3 minutes or 3 hours, and the agent can even give you a ride home and call the garage to actually tow your car to be repaired. And the resolution cycle time reduced from 3 to 8 weeks to 30 minutes to 3 hours. And that not only improved the business process cycle time, but also improve the service level, and the payout tends to be actually less than the traditional approach. So in this case, progressive is using some mobile computing technology to help their field worker, the adjuster, their agent in the field to do their work. So it depends on the degree of changes, and we may potentially achieve various benefit from just improve the efficiency of the system, of the process, to implement the best practice from the industry, or actually dramatically changing the business process and set the new standard for the industry, and or even changing the competitive game by redefining what the industry is all about. For instance, Apple's iPod and iTunes basically changed the music retail industry. And right now, Apple's iTunes is the largest um, music store, either online or physically. ERP, the last and the fourth strategic initiative within the firm. Uh, we will discuss CRM, ERP, and BPR in some future chapters and in greater detail. So ERP involve a lot of internal operation, and a lot of them are manufacturing related. However, ERP nowadays is not really limited to the manufacturing sectors. And the key word in ERP is enterprise, which means cross multiple functional area and covered different part of the enterprise. This is example of sales database. We have customer ID and some product name and ordering information. In the accounting database, we also have customer name and the product name. So the information stored in the two separate database has a lot of overlap, and therefore, if you're not careful, it's very difficult to keep the data in these two database consistent. So the best way is to actually provide an integrated database to serve multiple business functions and processes. So that's what ERP is all about, is to support various business process and functional area and have an integrated database, integrate the data at the back end, and to support reporting query for different functional areas so that they can have a consistent view of what's going on within an enterprise.